All right, we are recording. Hey, hi, Mandy. Of course, this is Dave Jones from Conneaut Today, and I have Mandy Smith that has come on my show to talk about her Angels of the Lake,
Yes.
and because I find this to be fascinating. Mandy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Ooh, I am a mom of four beautiful girls. I have a home. I have my loving husband, chickens, and the dog, and I'm a Girl Scout troop leader. So, and I was also with the coach pitch team with my husband.
Okay,
So I
all
try
right,
to stay somewhat active.
yeah, okay. And so, what brings you to being the founder of Angels of the Lake?
Essentially, what boils down to is every year or almost every year we have a drowning, and I want to change that. I think that through education and through proper safety equipment and warnings that we can prevent a good portion of those.
Okay. And
So,
what has I mean, because this is very new, right?
yes, it's I started it a few days after Hunter EB went missing. Um, when he had drowned, he was an 11-year-old boy, and he was full of life. He was a football player. He was so many wonderful things, and before I knew who it was or anybody, I think when you live in Conant, you always think, well, do I know them? Whose kid is it? Is it my friends? Is it my family? And I really don't like feeling that way anymore. Not that I did to begin with, but I want to see that change.
Right, right. And so that was the spark, that was the flame that actually created Angels of the Lake. I love the name Angels of the Lake.
Yes, I wanted to encompass everyone who's been lost in the lakes, not just individuals, but the whole all of them. Because since 2010, there has been like 1,300 drownings in the Great Lakes that have been reported.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Now is that a whole range of ages?
Yes. What I find mostly is a lot of, I would say at least 80% of the drowning victims are actually men or boys, which is a high statistic since most of them are daredevils and they think, oh, well, I'm strong and I can do anything. Women tend to be more cautious. And then I did notice that there's a lot of teenagers and elderly gentlemen. So when their boats start sinking, that's where we find a lot of those.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, our lake is a beautiful place.
it really.
We have a beautiful beach. We have a whole beautiful lakefront, and it's just a beautiful place to actually go and spend some time.
Yes.
But there, there is a part of our lake that can be very, very dangerous, and especially when they kick up those waves and things of that nature. But I guess I've been looking at your Facebook page a lot, and you talk a lot about swimming safety.
Yes.
And I think you actually had a live that you actually put on there,
Yeah.
because I know I attended that, and you had a guy that was actually presenting.
I did. Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project came in. They're the ones who started tracking all of the drowning statistics
Hmm.
in the Great Lakes, but they came in and they did two different presentations. One was in Ashtabula and one was here. So I tried to hit a couple different places to spread knowledge a little bit farther out than just Conneaut. Basically, we had the presentations come in and they talk about different water safety stuff like different currents. They talk about structural currents and they talk about longshore currents and things like that. Now, with the breakwall coming in, you have your structural current. and then it runs out away from the outside of that break wall.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really dangerous place to actually swim, as far as like from an education type of standpoint. All the statistics are showing that that's not exactly the safest area. We did talk about proper fit for your life jackets too. If you pull up on them, if they go up to your ears, it is too high. And there's different sizing that you can use. And the younger kids should have the strap that goes in between their legs and buckles,
Okay.
make it a little bit more safe. And like I said, there is different sizing. And another main thing for education is everybody knows what happens when there's a fire. We stop, drop, and roll.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're drowning, actively drowning, you're supposed to do what's called flip, float, and follow. So you flip over and you float and then you follow. So if you were in a current or being pulled out away from shore, flipping. So normally you'd be facing towards shore with your hands going up, kind of like a ladder pattern, and your head would be back, your mouth would be open, and the waves would just keep crashing over your head. Well, what they teach you to do is turn towards those waves and float, uh,
Okay.
follow the current out until you can swim parallel with the out of it, and then get back to shore.
Okay. Now, do you still have that full presentation on your Facebook page?
No, I do not.
Okay.
That is how Great Lakes Surf and Rec Project make their money.
Okay.
So that keep doing the things that they're doing and keep educating. So
Gotcha.
why I took it down. I had it up there for just long enough so that way the people who did miss it, who immediately wanted to watch it, could. But I hope to have many more water safety presentations, and I hope to actually get some into the schools, which I
Right.
would definitely help.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
this sounds fantastic. The I didn't realize because I lived here all my life. I spent a lot of time down at the lake. I didn't realize that there were rip tides on our beach.
Well, we don't have rip tides. We have rip current.
Currents.
Yes, currents. We don't really have tidal action. It's only like an inch or two, so
Right.
it
Right.
doesn't really make much of a difference. But the currents, yes. So if we have really windy days, there's longshore currents that come in, and that's what helps create, the bigger waves. And then we have a couple inlets, not enough to make. I don't really see a huge current out of it, but it will push you away from shore, right where the couple inlets are, and the Conneaut Creek. And then the biggest one is the structural current for the breakwater.
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah.
So, how do you spot a, a rip current?
So what you want for is essentially the calmest area. It's a little bit harder to see in a lake, like Lake Erie, versus an ocean. Ocean will have like a really
Oh,
calm, and the waves will be around it. So basically, the waves push up, and the like back. So if you have, hold on, I'm trying to figure out how I can draw it. I could probably just draw it so you can see. So if you have a current coming in, so let's see if I can draw backwards. So if you, this is your beach line right here, okay?
yeah.
So you have a current coming in, okay, towards the beach, and it comes up onto the beach, and then it will come back out this way.
Okay.
Thing will happen this way. So both of those meet. These are the really wavy parts right
Right.
here, and this will be nice, like a lot calmer.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Uh huh. Yeah,
Okay.
it does.
Okay. So that's one of the main things that I want people to be educated about. So now there is like different ways that you can increase your safety too, as far as currents and being out there in the water. Make sure you guys are seeing the warnings before you go. Check the weather apps. Check NOAA. See if there's anything on there, and if there's any like maritime warnings, because they will say, that swimming shouldn't, you shouldn't be swimming right now. They do have those. Now, they're not 100% accurate, especially if we get a front come in, but they're fairly, substantial to look at. Then never swim alone. Always make sure that you have somebody who knows where you are in the water with you, eyes on, um, and that'll increase your likelihood that you would live to see another day.
Yeah. Okay.
And another thing too, if you do see somebody actively drowning, it's probably better to throw and don't go. So throw a life ring or throw a throw bag to them, because most rescuers end up becoming drowning victims themselves. So,
Okay.
and call 911.
I do see those throw rings down there. Is that something that is that something new for our beach?
So they do have some throw rings, but they've really amped it up, and I'm very happy. A lot more throw rings, and they put some throw bags out there. So in case you can't throw a heavy throw ring, the throw bag is just a bag with a rope in it. You hold one end and you throw the other one just like a football, and get it to the person, and you can just tow them in.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not an inflatable like, or a buoyancy thing, whereas a life ring would be, but those are harder to throw. So it's
Right.
done, you know.
So those are actually something that has always been there.
Yeah, for the most part, as far as any time I've been down there, just not as. So I think in June they had three, but now the last time I was aware they had between the life rings and the throwbacks, it was like 12 of them.
Okay.
So they pretty much have gotten most of their beach pretty
They've,
well covered, which is
they've,
nice to
they've
see.
stepped it up a lot.
Yeah.
Now, ever since I've been here and that I can actually remember, I mean, at one time, I'm almost pretty sure in one time, maybe in my father's days, they had lifeguards down there.
Yes.
Do they ever do they ever plan on bringing something like that back?
Yes. So essentially, what needs to happen is we need to get recruits, because not enough lifeguards. So what I'm hoping to do is talk with the schools and see if they want to start a junior and senior lifeguarding program, and maybe hold lifeguarding class as an elective for instead of a phys ed credit. So you can get a gym credit for lifeguarding, and then
Oh,
I'm going to see if they're, Miss Riley is interested in that.
that is a beautiful idea.
Yes. And then before we can get those enacted, I want to make sure that we have enough of a supply to cover the whole beach all week, which is a lot. It's at least 20 lifeguards that we have to recruit and find, so that way we can get our beaches covered again. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get that going, but I'm working on that over the winter. And until then, I have started the process for a beach ambassador program, which is like towel to towel education. And we also kind of watch the water. So if we see, something happen, we can call 911 and make sure the proper authorities can get where they need to go when they need to get there. So just if there's warnings out, we can say, hey, did you know that there's a warning that you probably shouldn't swim? Or do you know about different currents? Do you know about the color of your bathing suit, how it can affect you being found in water, like open water? So
Right,
there's a lot of things that you can educate about.
right.
And that program is modeled after South Haven Ambassador Program in Education. I'm using hers until we can get ours up and going. So it's already an established program, so it is working.
So is that something that Angels of the Lake will actually fund, or is that going to be funded through um,
Nope,
the park itself?
nope. That would be Angels of the Lake. We would be in charge of the Beach Ambassador Program under our 501, and then I could apply for grants and stuff like that. The Beach Ambassador is 100% volunteer. So we have an app that you can schedule on. It's training that you could take. It's about a little under an hour long. And then we just kindly ask that you purchase your Beach Ambassador shirt and your whistle so that way we can keep this program going. You know what I mean? So we don't have an upfront cost as far as that goes. The only cost that we do have is insurance.
Right. So are these people going to be just volunteers then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And
Interesting.
I also have 2 Life Vest kiosks that have been approved to go in at the lower parking area, and one off of the boardwalk. They hold 40 Life Vests each, which is really big help. Basically, they'll hold 9 adult ones on each side, and then 11 children on each side.
Okay.
So for the total of 40. So a couple extra kids than the adults, because I figured the kids could probably benefit from that a little bit more, since most of them don't really know how to swim too well.
Wow. So I mean, how are you picturing your vision moving forward? I mean, it sounds like you're really off to a great start.
Yes.
But how does the ball continue to keep rolling? How does people like myself or somebody else that might be listening want to get involved?
Yeah, just
how would they get involved?
Just contact Facebook, and if you don't have Facebook, I do have my phone number if you would like that. Do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead and give us your phone number.
Yep. So it is 440-645-4556.
Okay.
And if you don't have Facebook, like I said, you can call me if you would like to volunteer. So besides the Beach Ambassador program and the Life Vest kiosks and the educational presentations that I have coming in, and trying to figure out the junior and senior lifeguarding program, I really would like to see a community swimming pool. This would be for educational purposes for the most part. So you could have swim lessons, you could have your lifeguarding courses, you could have your physical therapy, you could have the swim team use it, and any aerobics classes, and then it would be open for the community, for a small fee to use it. So I'm in the process of trying to figure out how we can go about doing that, but that's a long-term goal.
Wow.
So
that's a pretty hefty goal.
Yes, and I would like to lobby for some law change. So mandatory water safety educational systems. So
Did you ever think that this was going to go in this direction?
No, I did not see my life going in this direction, and I just feel like I know that's where it's supposed to be now. I know what I want to be when I grow up.
Wow.
So
how soon before the life jackets?
the
Kiosk?
So right now we are working on our funding for those. I already have quite a few life jackets that have been donated to me. So if you do want to donate life vests, as long as they are Coast Guard approved and they are not ripped, torn, if they like the material's not deteriorating, as long as you can read the label, everything it should be good, and that like gently used. I can accept those as well. So I do also want to let you know that I have a educational booth at D-Day. So we are raising more awareness there. And then I'm trying to figure out a way to have a sock hop. So that's in the works for fundraising, and I'm hoping that it goes really well because it would have food and craft vendors there and music and cars. And we used to have it a long time ago, and I think we could use it again.
Right. Angels of the Lake is only what, maybe 3, 4 months into it.
No,
No,
Angels of the Lake is not even 2 months in.
2 months. 2 months, and look what you've already done. I mean, you have all these projects that are coming together,
Yes,
and I mean, 2 months ago you were a mom,
just a mom.
just a mom, and all of a sudden something happened in at our lake, and now you become this advocate
Yeah.
for safety.
I saw a lot of people on Facebook saying that we should have this and we should do that, and why aren't they doing this? And why? Okay,
And you were the mom that stepped up.
I'll do it.
That's
I'm learning,
fantastic.
and I'm learning as I go. So sometimes it's trial and error, sometimes it's a lot of perseverance,
Hmm.
but making sure that I get the word out there and keep talking to people and keep people involved because I don't want it to just fade away.
Right.
And I think too often that's seen. They're like, oh, well, we've already had our one for the year, and they just keep moving on. But what if we could prevent that one a year?
Right.
Why, why should we allow somebody else's family to never have their family?
Right. Right.
And that's
Yeah.
seen enough. So,
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of great organizations that I'm sure that will eventually jump in, uh, because the organizations in Conneaut, they love programs like this. So keep at it, because I mean, I love what we have. I just there's this unedging unsafety part of what we have that could be a little bit more secure,
right. I
and
want,
you're that person that can make that happen.
yes, I definitely want to make sure that anybody visiting us or even anybody who lives here has the opportunity to go home. So, and the only way that we can accomplish that is making sure that we have the kids. So making sure that we have the proper warnings, because how can you make an informed decision if you don't know all of the risks?
Right. Right.
So making sure those risks are known, and whether they heed them or not, that's going to be up to them. But at least I know that if all of the warnings are in place and all of the safety things are in place that it could be, then I know that I've done my job.
Right. Because
So
I know that if I because there was I think it was last year, I took my daughter down to the beach. Now, of course, she was very very small, and the waves were not real bad, but I mean, if there would have been a life jacket kiosk, I would have actually gotten her a life jacket, because I want her to feel safe. So I think that program's just perfect.
yes, it's easier to buddy too. If things do happen if they have their life jacket on.
All right.
So
All right.
that's
Fantastic.
the goal.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited, and I am thankful for all the support from anybody that I've gotten support from, and I am able to take donations. So um, I have a QR code and other things on my Facebook where you can mail to, or you can donate online. I am fiscally sponsored under Argonaut, which is a aerospace and aquatics school in Cleveland, and that is through Captain Drew Ferguson. So he also does the Great Lakes Water Safety Consortium. So I'm very thankful
Okay.
to have that opportunity. So this way I can continue doing, water safety stuff, just like so many other programs that I'm joining. We're all joining together to make it all as much as cohesive as possible.
Right.
All of the Great Lakes and then eventually all of the open waters is covered with the same type of safety equipment.
Right.
So
Right. Fantastic.
wonderful things happening.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people here. They have a lot of concerns that, if the life vest disappear and stuff, but there are so many programs that you can apply for life vests to be renewed through grants, which I plan on doing through the 501. So I do anticipate them as a novelty item to walk away a little bit more so in the beginning than later on, but at least 25% I anticipate to be replaced every year. So just know that there is a plan and it is on an honor system. So if you do use them, I kindly ask that you bring them back and you put them back onto the kiosk and like just hang them up on the pegs again, and so the next person behind you can also have the same opportunity that you did.
Right. So now is the park getting involved in any of the kiosks and stuff like that? Are they are they a part of the project?
So it's the project itself, the donation of the kiosk itself, the life vest, and the maintenance on it is going to be done by my 501. But I had to get permission from them to be able to put them in and to be able to explain what I was going to do, and they like the idea. They also like the idea of the beach ambassador program. So as soon as I can get my funding up a little bit more, I hope to have a lot more of these programs in place. And I've also asked the Port Authority if they would also like to join. Yeah, to have one at the sandbar and one at the marina.
Okay.
So hopefully they agree with that, and I can't wait to work with them. Everybody seems um, happy that something is being done, and it's a lot of work, especially if you're a government agency or government entity where you have a lot of hoops that you got to kind of go through. But being a 501, I don't feel like I can push myself as hard as I do, and I can do things a little bit quicker, and I can just say, "Hey, I have this program. Do you want to use it?"
Right. Right. Wow.
That's the
I mean,
goal.
this could be a start of working on many different beaches.
Yes, yes.
Because I mean, there's not lifeguards on any beach.
No,
You know,
nope.
and it's partially because the state does not want to fund it. You know,
The
how do you put a price on safety? You know,
oh, thing is they put a price making sure that we have education for fires, tornadoes, earthquakes, and a whole bunch of other things. But did you know that all of those combined for the children, like death for children, do not even equal the drowning?
wow,
So you could add all of those deaths up, and it still wouldn't be as much as a drowning death. And honestly, um, the day before your fifth birthday, from the age of 1 to the day before your fifth birthday, drowning is a leading cause of accidental death in the children, and it's the second leading cause of death in children 15. I believe it's 15 and 1 to 15.
Hmm.
So that's behind car accidents.
right, right,
So and children 1 and under, the main place that drowning does occur is a bathtub.
wow.
So that's
Who would
important.
have known? Who would have known that? That is,
Yeah,
I'd never figured in your own bathtub.
in your own bath, and it only takes 2 inches of water to drown. So you know how those 5-gallon buckets have the label on them
Hmm.
with children falling in. It just, as long as you have both of your nose and mouth covered, and just that much.
Now, did you have a good turnout at that swim safety
Yeah, yeah.
at the park?
The first one we had a lot of kids from the Y come in. It was a wonderful field trip that they got to go to and learn about some stuff. So I was really excited about that. And there was a few others there. And then the one down at the beach was a pretty decent turnout as well. I mean, there was a lot of different individuals there, which I really appreciate them for coming. And we even had a couple just kind of watch from a distance. So they were still getting the information, even if they didn't,
Right, right.
yeah. So
It's very interesting stuff. 2 months ago, you were just a mom,
yeah,
and now look what you're doing.
yeah,
And over the next 10 years, you'll be saving so many lives.
that's the goal.
Yeah,
I,
that is just truly amazes me how things happen, and you know because they happen, other things happen.
right,
You know,
right. And I
so
know
you just had a beach cleanup.
I did. I
How'd
did.
that go?
It went pretty well. I definitely collected a lot of bottle tops and cigars. Yeah, just so much gross stuff. so, so much gross stuff, and I'm telling you, it was like a horrible leg day.
Yeah, how that?
The
Yeah, I
next
can
couple
understand.
days, I've definitely noticed that I probably should do that more often.
Yeah. So,
Um,
what is the next event?
so the next one is D-Day.
D-Day. Okay.
So I'll be there all 3 days and just handing out information about water safety. I have things from, let's see, the Great Lakes Water Safety Consortium. I have Great Lakes Surf and Rescue, and then I have the Army Corps, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers have also donated some stuff to me so I can educate all of you.
Nice.
Yeah, so I am working with the Army Corps of Engineers as well um, for issues with the break wall. I mean, on top of, the Port Authority and everybody else who does regularly work with them. But I'm excited because I can see what things are happening, and I can say, hey, do you still need help with this? And throw it out there. And so that way we don't have to say, well, we don't have the funding for it right now, which is, what we're trying to work on as far as some of the things that I think we could really benefit from. So as long as Conneaut helps me out in the way I anticipate them to, uh, we should be golden.
Yeah, I really don't foresee you having a problem. It sounds, in the 2 months that you've already been up and running, you've already got a good foot in the right direction. So,
Yes, yes, it's actually on I think it's the 10th. The 10th will be 2 months. So
be 2 months.
it's like just over a month and a half.
Wow. All right. So that's
So right now I'm working on my bylaws and writing those out so I can get my 501 fully approved, and then I can start functioning over my own stuff. And that's an interesting thing.
yeah,
Bylaws are no joke. There's a lot of lingo that you need to mm.
yeah. I know most places that have the 501, they actually have an expert that's usually on staff
Mm-hmm.
that deals with all that stuff.
Yes.
So you're learning it all on your own.
I mean, I do have some help writing laws and writing a lot of things. So I'm not by myself as far as that goes, but there are a lot of questions I've came across. I'm like, well, how does this board help this board, and who's in this board? And so you'll have there's so many boards.
Yeah.
Like,
So is there anybody that you want to thank for what they've done?
yeah.
Is there anybody you want to special thank you?
Yes, honestly, I want thank any of the officials in Conneaut that I have talked to, and any citizen in Conneaut who has actually, you know, really stepped up and helped. I know change sometimes isn't easy, and I appreciate all the people who are making that step forward to help me, and so we can all do better. And you know, anyone who's had their hand or anything in it, I appreciate every single one of them. I appreciate the people helping me with the 501 and helping me get all of the donations in, and everyone.
Oh,
I want to do this all together, and that's how we do better,
right.
because it can't just be one individual person trying every year. It's got to be a collective unit, and I'm really excited to see that continue. So
Okay.
far, it's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. um, Now,
Okay. So we're talking a little bit about the ambassador program. You're going to be having T-shirts and hats made to purchase, correct?
uh, so we will have space available. We'll have some yes. And then whenever we get those in, we can put them up on our Facebook. Or if you would like to purchase one, you can contact me. Like, again, my phone number is 440-645-4556. And as far as the Beach Ambassador program goes, that's where you volunteer to go towel to towel and educate and watch the water. And to be in that program, we ask that you purchase ambassador shirts. They have, well, I don't know if you can see this. Hold on. They say beach ambassador on the back of them.
Okay.
So that way you know who they are,
Mm-hmm.
and a whistle. So that way, if something is like, say, hey, blow your whistle, you should probably be out of the water. We're not a lifeguard, but it's still a civil service where we can still educate and say, hey, there's a warning. So
Right. Right.
that's the main goal of that, until we can get our lifeguards up and going, which I really would love to see as soon as possible. Um, but in order, we can still work cohesively. So with the ambassador program, the only qualifications are that you have to be uh, 14 and older, and I believe you have to pass a obviously, because you'll be working with kids too. So
Yeah.
minor, and that would be something that would have to be discussed as far as the financial. So, uh, and the 14, so anybody who would be in high school, so 14 and up in high school, that would also qualify, I believe, under because I'm a 501, that would volunteer hours for community service they get to perform for
Okay.
your high school graduation credits. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that Miss Riley will like that idea and be able to accept us as one of the programs that they could do that for. So,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
ways to help the community even farther,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. And I don't think that there's got to be, you know, lifeguards at every post, but somebody that has some experience, somebody that's going to respond to an emergency,
Yes.
you know?
The issue that I think brought up is the fact that if we have only part of a beach guarded, the normal people will, shy away from that. That's what they found when they, I think it was 1997 or around that time frame, that they had the beach guarded right off the pavilion boardwalk, and that's where the west parking lot was. There wasn't really
Okay.
a lot of swimmers over there, but they did notice that. the teenagers and the cool kids wanted to go outside of those zones a little bit more.
Really?
So if we have the whole beach guarded, then I think it would be a better safety measure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So now you're kind of pressing forward to the sock hop.
Yes.
Tentatively, you have what date?
September 14th is tentative.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what are you looking for to make that a reality?
So to make that a reality, I could use some people who would like to help me organize it. As far as some of the events that I would like to have there, some vendors and some like food and craft vendors. So I need to organize all of those things, and I need to fill out my form for the city. Um, that's another thing. But in order to get all of those things in place, I have to have like a pretty set. This is what I want to do. These are the events I want, and then take it to them. I know it's under the 60 days, so I'm trying to hustle as much as I can.
Right. Right.
And if I have to change the date a little bit, I will do that. But hopefully,
Okay.
not much.
All right. And the date again was
Uh,
September.
Tentative September 14th, but if I have to change it, it'll probably be more towards the end of September. I just didn't want to do it too late when the weather started to change a little bit.
Right.
I don't do cold.
Yeah.
And over the winter time, I would like to see a Met Gala happen. So basically, like an adult prom with some music and food and themes. So I think the theme would be under the sea, which I think is pretty fitting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In the springtime, in late spring, I want to do a poker run or a run for anything that has wheels. So whether you are a classic car, a motorcycle, a Jeep, you name it, if you can ride it somewhere, you can you can be in the run.
Wow. Okay.
Even cars, I don't even care if it was a regular car.
Yeah.
Let's just have fun and try to get.
Participate.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
the participants.
I'm trying to hit everybody that I can, and for everyone to be involved. I want every group.
Hmm.
So I want the youth groups. I want kid groups like the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. I want bikers. I want Jeep clubs. I want city officials. I want emergency personnel. I want them
And
all.
we have all that. So.
I want them all.
All right. So guys, hey, Mandy, it's been fantastic chatting with you,
Yeah.
and I wish you the best on your little venture here. And there's going to be bumps in the road. Don't get discouraged. Just
Yeah.
keep pressing on because it's a fantastic cause. I can't wait to see the first lifeguards sitting down there and
I'm
actually watching the water.
I can't wait. It'll really, I think it'll also boost our tourism too, because if we're providing all of these safety measures, especially when D-Day is coming around, think of how awesome that would be for a family to feel safe at our beach, you know.
Right?
And then who knows, maybe they'll take those lessons back home and start implementing them on their beach.
They
So
may.
I
They
want to I want to be that model, the model beach because I know we can do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little bit of time and elbow grease and
Well, I think we have a great community where the community is going to get right behind you and move you forward with this.
I I hope
Thank,
so.
thank you so much for coming on. And guys, if you want to get involved, Mandy, give us your phone number one more time.
It is 440-645-4556.
All right, perfect. All right,
Yes.
guys, you heard it from here. Get involved if you can, and get behind this great program for our very small community, and a lot of great things will happen down there.
Yes.